Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our webinar today, brought to you by Innovate Hawaii, part of the Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, the Hawaii Chamber of Commerce, and the Hawaii State Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism. My name is Ellen, and I'm the Economic Development Specialist here at HTDC. Some housekeeping before we dive into the webinar. This session will be recorded and will be sent to all who registered. Please keep all your microphones and cameras disabled throughout the session, and feel free to send in your questions during the session through the chat function. We will address them during the Q&A portion of the webinar. Additionally, today's webinar is the start of a series of webinars designed to assist business owners with e-commerce and digital marketing. If you are interested in attending other webinars, please visit the link that we will be leaving in the chat box. If you are a business registered with DCCA and in need of e-commerce or digital marketing assistance, we also welcome you to apply for 3 free hours of consulting time with a vendor that we will match you with. The application is accessible through the same link that we will leave in the chat box. Please note that you will have to be registered with DCCA and opportunities are limited, so please be quick. Today, we have Brandon Hughes of Hoku Marketing here with us to show you how you can set up a basic e-commerce website easily and quickly using the Shopify platform. So Brandon is a digital marketing strategist who has extensive experience helping business owners and entrepreneurs grow their brands. Having worked in the corporate environment as a franchise owner and independent business owner, Brandon knows the sales creation strategies in the digital environment. Located in Honolulu, Hoku Marketing is a full-service e-commerce and digital marketing agency offering an array of services from web development, SEO, email marketing, and more. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Brandon today to take the lead for today's session. Hi, welcome, Brandon.
Hi, thanks, Alan. Thanks for the introduction. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, everything's great.
Excellent. Okay, so obviously you can all see me here in the office, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about what I'm going to be talking about today, just kind of give you an overview, and then we'll get right into it. So today what we're going to be doing is actually going into the administration panel of a live Shopify store and creating a store. It's a single product. It'll be very simple, but I will walk you through all the steps that are needed in order to create an actual live Shopify store. Now, I'm a Shopify partner, so everything that I'm doing is in Shopify, but the concepts that I will be going over can be applied to any e-commerce platform out there. As it was mentioned earlier, there'll be a recording, so don't worry too much about taking notes, and I have about 15 to 20 minutes at the end where we can do some discussion and some questions and back and forth on that. This presentation really is for people who don't have a website and are thinking about starting one and doing an e-commerce. This is for people who do have a website, but maybe are not selling on their website now and want to add e-commerce. Or maybe you just got started with e-commerce and you're a little overwhelmed, or you're unfamiliar with all of the different moving parts on the back end, and you kind of want an overview of what's taking place in your e-commerce store. Okay, so without any delay, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Let me get my screen up here. Let me share the screen. We're gonna go actually into the back end of Shopify here. Okay, so flag me if you can't see this, but we're in a store, a demo store that I created, and it's called Crazy Cases 1. So I want to build a store to sell custom mobile phone cases, or in this case, an iPhone cases. So I'm making them on my own, and I have people all over the world, all across the country, are saying, you should sell online. So yep, here I am, I'm in e-commerce, and I'm ready to get started. I see all of these things in the menu. There's so many things to think about and to do. I don't know where to get started. So the most important part is where we're going to get started, and that's in adding a product. So let's go through it. Let's get into it. So we're going to go into products here, and I have this product preloaded. So I'm cheating a little bit, but I'm going to go through all the steps that I took in order to set this up. So the very first thing that you're going to be hit with is your title. And a lot of times we might just blow by this and just put a very, very simple title and move on. I can't emphasize enough that this section right here, everything on this page for your product, is the most important part of your store. This is where you should spend the most time. Typically, clients that I work with or who are, trying to improve their store are always focused on the home page of the website. They want great photos, they want it to look amazing. And yes, that is important, but the most important part is right here. Spend most of your time describing and showcasing the product that you're selling. So in this case, I have an iPhone 11 leather phone case. It seems simple, but it's important that you can identify the product quickly and easily. Because remember, everyone's going to be looking at this product on Google or maybe Facebook or some platform, and they want to buy what they want to buy. So if they're looking for an iPhone 11 case, boom, they can identify that very quickly in the title. So spend time coming up with a clear, concise title for your products. Moving down, this next section here, the description, I kind of have it split, but this is what we get a lot. We see a lot of websites like this. Great phone case or amazing phone case, high quality, guaranteed. This is what we call a yeah description, because customers or people who are visiting your website, that's what they're thinking when they see it. They're just thinking, yeah, everyone is saying that. They get the idea. This section here for description is your chance to sell your product over and over again. I want you to think about if you had your product in your hand and you were actually speaking to somebody in person, what would you be telling them? What questions would they be asking, and how would you answer them? This is your opportunity to highlight things, lay out points, emphasize what makes your product different, create the tone that you want for your store, conversational, fun, much more professional, maybe a lot of numbers. All depends on what you're speaking about or what you're selling. So this description block right here, without a doubt, is where you should be spending the most of your time in your store over and over again. This is it. If you are not a good writer and you don't like to write, or you struggle with that, then find someone that you know and have them write for you. If you can't find someone that you know, pay someone to do it. This is where people will be coming over and over again. You're going to spend all this money on advertising. You're going to be doing all this work to get people to your website. And when they get and they're looking at the product, don't drop the ball by having a poor description. I would rather you spend your money and your time here on your description and your title, and right below this, the photos, than anything else on your website. This is the most important part that you should be focusing on, particularly with e-commerce. All right. So you can see here, I kind of put some colors in, I bolded this, and then I put a drop down of a few bullet points. You can put a video in here. You can drop video. You can drop images. Maybe you have some charts. Maybe you have some reviews that you want to highlight from customers. You can put all of that in here easily and really have a nice, clean, robust description that will sell your product over and over and over again. And I want to emphasize that over and over again, because once you have this description done, once you've made it as best as you can, it's there and it's set, and it will continue to sell your product over and over again as people visit your website. So you gotta think about that a little bit differently when you're dealing with e-commerce versus in person. Okay. Moving down here. So I have some media already loaded in here, and you can see it's quite easy. You just add media and you can drop photos in of what you, whatever product it is that you're selling, or maybe it's a service. You want to make sure that you have, if you're selling a product like this, there's a lot of talk about the white background so that people can really focus on the product, really see it, and imagine themselves using the product. In addition to that, if it fits your product, you also want to have lifestyle photos where people can see the product being used or in action for whatever it is that you're selling. So a wide assortment of photos. The more photos you can get, the better. You can take all of these photos with a mobile device now. If you can, hire a professional. It's even better. The photos are the one chance that people actually get to see the product itself. Now, media, you can also add video in here. So if you have really good quality video, drop that in, or maybe people using the video or testimonials, you can drop that all in there as well. Now, as I move on through designing the store today, we're going to be getting into all kinds of different things, but I just want to emphasize one more time that these three areas, the title, the description, and the photos or videos that you take of your product, are the most important areas of your e-commerce store. Okay, so jot that down. Just remember that. That's the most important part. Let's move on. Okay, so when we're loading our product in the store, in the Shopify platform, we're going to be asked, okay, what's our pricing? So I'm going to say, I want my price to be $27, and the compare at price, I'm going to say is $30. So maybe I was selling it at $30 before, and now I want to move it to $27. Later on, when we get to the front end of the store and we're designing it, you're going to see how these two numbers appear as a sale, and it's going to be a little interesting. So it's kind of boring that I'm doing that here now, but that's going to pop up again later. If you want, Shopify can track some margins so you can see some gross profit type of things. So let's say my cost per item is $7, and it'll show my margins and my profits. Do I want to charge tax on this product? Yes, I want to charge tax. Remember, in the state of Hawaii, you don't have to charge tax onto your consumer. You need to pay the tax, but you don't have to pass it on. So it depends on how you want to set up your store. I think most people are comfortable with that tax line. It's pretty commonplace throughout Hawaii. Inventory, if you have a big operation and you're doing SKUs, barcodes, scanning things in, tracking for shipping, you want to put that in here. Some people don't want to track quantity. I want to track quantity on this, so that I'm going to put my quantity down below here. So I'm just going to add 4 items. So why this is important here on the track quantity is if someone goes in and wants to buy 5, it's going to block them. If I don't want to track quantity, and this would be, maybe you are producing stuff on your own. I have a client that is a baker, and they can just pump out on-demand pies and all kinds of pastries and stuff. So they don't want to block anyone from quantity, because if they get an order for 200 pastries, they don't want to turn away customers. They want to just get into that kitchen and make the 200 pastries. So there is a reason why you may want to track quantity or not. If you are going to track quantity, you can also check this to continue selling when out of stock, which just allows you to continue to process orders. Okay. All right, moving on. Shipping. Shipping is probably the #1 question that I get as a Shopify partner on help with shipping. How can we do shipping? I don't want to get too much into the weeds on doing shipping. It is important, and it can get overcomplicated if you let it. We can keep it simple, particularly if you're getting just started. I always encourage people when they're setting up shipping to always think about free shipping. Can you add the cost of shipping into the price of your product and then offer it as free shipping? We all know free shipping isn't free shipping. We're paying for it in the price. But the data shows psychologically people want free shipping, even if the cost is a little bit higher. I don't know why that is. It just is. When I buy on Amazon, I'm always looking for free shipping. So shipping is important. Yes, this is a physical product. I'm going to use grams, and I'm going to just go ahead and drop that in there, that it's 7 grams. If you do want to integrate with a shipping platform on the background, it will take these weights and calculate shipping for you. You do not have to. That is maybe a little bit more advanced, but definitely something Shopify can handle. Shopify shipping can handle domestic, international, tariffs, all of that stuff in there. So yeah. That's in there. So customs information, I'm not going to set this store up to go overseas. We're just going to do domestic shipping, so I'm not going to worry about that. That's a little bit advanced. Variants. So what are variants? It's a small block here, but if I click on variants, it's going to open up these options to add all kinds of variants to my existing product. What are variants? Different sizes. If you're selling t-shirts, small, medium, large, extra large, different colors, different models that are part of that main model. So a variant is all of those options. You can change pricing for those variants. You can put different photos in the variants to show the different colors or maybe the different sizes. Today, we're going to keep it simple. We just have one product, no variants in there. But if you're wondering about, oh, wow, what if I have a different size? Yes, you come down here and you can add as many options as you need to. Okay, so that's variants. This bottom section here almost looks like the text that we don't read when we're signing, a warranty or buying a car. However, it's important. And I think there are some other presentations going on about SEO. And this is where you can take the time to go ahead and make sure that when people are finding your product in Google, what they read about makes sense to them. It tells them that, yeah, this is the right. If I come here and I see iPhone 11 leather phone case and a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, I'm probably not going to click on this link when I find it in Google. So you can see here it's auto-populating with the description. So if I click edit, I can go in here and get rid of, I think this is the amperstamps. That's kind of, just some, it just looks kind of messy there, and I can save that. And now my SEO description is a little bit cleaner. I don't have that. This is important to do. This is what people are seeing in Google search. Okay, so going down the left side, we finished that. We'll go down the right-hand side here. Yeah, the product is active. We can put it inactive. So you can load products in your store and make them active or inactive. Maybe it's a seasonal thing. Maybe you're working on the description or you want better photos. So you can start the loading process and click them from active to non-active as well. Okay. Sales channels. So right now, the only sales channel that we're going to be selling this product through is the website. You can connect other sales channels to your Shopify store, which would be things like maybe you want to sell on Facebook. When I mean sell on Facebook, not put an ad, but actually have native in-platform purchasing options so people can stay in Facebook and purchase the product without leaving Facebook. Same thing with Instagram. Maybe you want to connect your Amazon store. Maybe you have an Etsy store. So different sales channels that you can broadcast and have it all sync back to your Shopify store where you can track your inventory and all of these other things. Okay. So scrolling down a little bit more. So product type. Yep. That's what I have. And you can obviously change that. The vendor, I'm making this case myself. So this is my business name, Crazy Cases 1. If you were purchasing this and reselling it from someone else, then maybe you would want to put that vendor in there so you can kind of track on the back end through the analytics what's being sold by vendor. Collections. Collections is an organizational section of your website. So I'm only dealing with one product, so I don't have collections. But let's say I was doing phone accessories. So maybe I have AirPods and AirPod cases and phone cases and other phone chargers and all of these other items. Maybe I want to create collections so that someone can go to phone cases and see all the cases I have. Or they could go to phone chargers and see all the phone chargers I have. So you can create basically as many collections as you want. And right now, I just have it on the home page. That's the only collection that I have for now. So that's what collections are. Okay. Then we go down here to tags. So it's giving me some suggestions. So I'm going to go ahead and put create a tag iPhone and maybe a case spelled correctly. So you can create different tags. This would allow people to search on your website by tags. It also allows you to organize more on the back end using tags. So always keep these organizational things in mind when you're creating your products. When in doubt, create the tag, because you never know later on when you have 200-300 products, it's be so much easier to search and sort by tags. Okay, so that's it. We're done with the product section. Now we're going to move on to adding a couple of very important pages that every store should have. Of course, you always want to save. And I need to close this here. Okay. Yeah, don't avoid saving. That would be terrible. Okay, so moving on, let's add two very important pages to our website that every e-commerce store should have. And that's the Contact Us page and the About Us page. So I have the About Us page already up because I have a template in there. So for those of you who want this template after the webinar, go ahead and reach out to me. I'll email it to you. Excuse me. So let's take a look at the About Us page real quick. This is one of the top viewed pages on e-commerce stores. And the reason why is people want to know who you are. They want to know your story, where you're from, and what you're about. So this template in here, if you drop this in and you kind of just fill in all of these sections as best you can, well, it's really a good start to kind of show people who you are, about us, about me, about what am I about, where I'm from. Within here, you can drop videos like this. So I grabbed a phone case video. So maybe it's a product video. You can put pictures of your dog in here, community things that you do, your elementary school photos, whatever the style is that you want people to know about you. Put it here in the About Us page. This is a very important page. A lot of people will come here, okay? So let me go back in here. So now let's create a page. So we're gonna add a page that every e-commerce store needs to have, and that's the Contact Us. It's a very simple one. Shopify makes it super easy to create a Contact Us page. In fact, we only need to title it. We don't even need to put a description in here. You can if you want, but they have a template. Now I'm using a free theme that only has 2 templates. If you go into a paid theme, they have all kinds of templates. But even in the free theme, they have the Contact Us template. So if I save this, and I'm going to go in and we're going to view, let's view this page real quick. You can see, boom, the template just drops in here. Very simple, very clean. That's what the clients or the customers or visitors to your website will see, is the Contact Us page, just like that. Okay, so we've created our Contact Us page. We have our About Us page. There are a couple of other pages that a lot of people stumble on because they're so difficult to do, basically, or we just don't know where to start. And that is your legal pages, okay? These are important to have. Shopify makes it very easy. I have these filled out already, but I'm gonna show you how easy it is using the templates that you can get on the back end of the Shopify setup here. So a couple of things. On their legal pages, you need to have a refund policy. You need to have it. Otherwise, you're going to run into complications later on when someone wants a refund and there's a potential for conflict there. You need to have a privacy policy. You see it all the time now. People pop up when you go to websites, cookies, collecting information, et cetera, et cetera. Terms of service and a shipping policy. Now, let's go back up here to the refund policy. So you'll see right on the bottom, replace with template. So this is the template. It'll drop it in there for you. And you can go through and put in all your personal contact information. So that's my email there. Auto-populated because that's what's tied into the store. But it allows you to have all of these pages so that your store has this information and it's accessible by people who are visiting the store. And I'm going to show you, we're going to put all of these links into the footer, and that's what we're going to do right now. So we've got our product in there, our Contact Us page, our About Us page. We've got our policy, our legal pages ready to go. Now let's look at navigation, okay? So what is navigation? Navigation is basically your main menu that's on the top and your footer menu that's going to be on the bottom. So let's look at the main menu real quick. So we have 3 options across the top: Shop Now, About Us, and the Contact Us page. If maybe we had a collection, or maybe we wanted to highlight something and you want to put something on that top menu, you can go ahead and click that, add the link and the name right in there, and add as many pages as you want. Now, a lot of times people feel, yes, I want to have a robust menu across the top. I want to make it very easy for people to get to all the links and clicks right there on the main page. Please, please avoid that urge, okay? The top main menu should be clutter-free and very simple to navigate. And remember, this is where most people who get to your website, this is where they're going to be. And what do you want them to do? You want them to get to the product page and make a purchase. That's the whole purpose behind this e-commerce site. So don't clutter it with too much. I like to keep it very, very simple with just a few bits of key information, and think very carefully about adding anything else to the main menu. All right, let's go into the footer menu real quick. So we just made those policy pages, and we also have the contact us and the about us page. So I want to add all of that down in the footer. So give me a second here while this loads. The footer is a great place to put all your administrative types of things, your legal things, all down on the bottom, because if people want to find out your privacy policy, they'll look for it. They'll scroll down. So I'm not sure if you can see this pop up. I hope you can. It does say you can. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add some of these policy pages. So you can see here's the link here. I can go to policies and I'm going to put my privacy policy and I'm going to add that. And you can see it now showing up as a menu item. Let's add the, let's put the shipping policy in there. And let's add the refund policy. Hopefully we'll never have to use that, but you will one way or the other. Okay, so now I have all of these menu options in my navigation. And for those of you who are getting lost and it feels a little weird, in just a minute here, we're gonna go to the front and we're gonna look at where all of these things will play out so you can see how it all drops in and it'll really make sense. So just hang there with me a little bit longer. I'm gonna go ahead and save this menu. So there's our footer menu set to go on that. Okay, so we're getting ready to go to the front of the theme design, but there's one other thing that you should be looking at, and that is the shipping. Shipping can get complicated and you can really get in the weeds, and I don't have enough time to get into it today, but I will show you the settings in here that I have set up for shipping. It is important to come in here and you can set things for domestic, foreign, you know, want to connect with different carriers. Maybe you have already have a number with UPS or FedEx. All of these things can be done on the back end here. Shopify has the option to print labels or to connect for tracking, automatic updates to customers. It's quite extensive. Shipping is complicated. However, Shopify, if you can think of it, it can be shipped. So the availability is there. Keep it simple if you can. Try to do the free shipping, build it into your product. If not, the shipping and delivery section is in there ready to go. Okay, so we've done a ton of stuff on the back end. Let's take a look at the front end. This is the fun part, and we're going to get into the theme. So Shopify has themes. You can pick different themes. You can go to their theme store and you can spend all kinds of money buying all kinds of themes. I do recommend, if you can, buy a premium theme. There's a lot of features in there that will help you along the way. However, I also understand if you're just getting started, you go with the free theme. I'm using a free theme. Shopify has several excellent free themes that you can use. So this one right here is the debut theme, and I want to customize it. I want to get in there. So let's take a look. So some things are already here because we did that in the navigation, right? Here's our main menu across the top. Shop Now, About Us, the Contact Us, just like we had in the main menu when we set up navigation. Let's scroll down and let's take a look at the footer menu. And you can see here, search, privacy policy, shipping policy, and the refund policy, just like we set up in the navigation section. So I hope that makes a little sense now. You're kind of seeing how that connects there, okay? So let's do a little styling. Let's make this a little nicer. Let's jump into the header here. So this is pulling in the name of my business, but I have a logo I'd like to pull in. So I got a logo already saved in here, so you can see Crazy Cases there, and I just pulled in a very simple image there. Logos you can do for free. You can pay someone. It just depends on your budget and what you're looking to do. I built this very simply using Canva, which is a free platform. I have a paid version because I'm in it all the time, but you can go in there and you can make logos quite easily. Keep it simple, make it easy to read, avoid the fancy script or blending colors so that people can easily identify where they're at when they come to your website, okay? So a bunch of different things down here that you can do that you can add to your header. One thing I want to add to the header on this demo store is, I want to show an announcement. So I have a grand opening special price, let's say till November 15th. Okay, you can change that to whatever you want. You're doing a July 4th special, or you have a new product line that's come out. You can change this however you want. So having a little announcement bar is great to have up there. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to back off. Obviously, you can get all into the colors. I'm keeping it very simple with the colors and stuff. But yes, you can change all that. You can change the fonts. Yeah, you can go crazy. I hope you remember early on where I was telling you about spending your time on the product and not so much over here. This is why. The temptation here is to just tweak, tweak, tweak forever. Please spend the time doing your product description. This is the fun part though. Okay, so let's get to the this main image here, this image with text overlay. So I want everyone to be hit with just a very nice image of my product. So this one kind of shows it in action right here. So I'm going to select that one. That's going to be my header. And I can put a little text over it. So I'm going to call this crazy cases. And I can add more text down here. So if I want to describe things a bit more, I can put that as well. So when people come to the website, this is what they're hit with, and it really shows them, hey, if they're here for cases, they're on the right site. They're in the right spot. Okay, and maybe I want to put a button in here. I want to say learn more. Okay, and I want that button link to go where? All buttons, unless they say, learn about me or something, all buttons should go directly to the product page. So I'm having that button link directly to my product. Okay. So as we go through here, this is a personal design on how you want things to be laid out. You can add all kinds of blocks and all types of things in here. I'm just going to focus on a couple of the most important, and one is people are here to learn about your product and to purchase. So once they get below the main image, you can go into more description, more images. I like to move this product all the way to the top. So I'm going to hide those other two items. So once they get below, they're here. They're here to purchase. They're here to buy. That's why they are on your website, okay? So let's go into this featured product. Let's select the product that we want to show. Yeah, I want to show my case in there. I want to select. And I want to show the quantity selector that's here, right? So if somebody wants to buy 20, they can. I don't want to show the vendor. It's not necessary. I have a dynamic checkout button. This is where somebody can buy it right now. They can skip the add to cart section. They could just go straight to giving me their money, which is great. I want to show the social sharing buttons. Where are those? Those are down here. So they can share it on their Facebook, Twitter, or even pin it on Pinterest. And you can add other social channels like Instagram, etc., if you want to. Okay. I hope some of you noticed right off the bat, right here on the pricing, when we were putting the pricing on the back end, I mentioned to pay attention to that. So you can see this is showing at a sale because the original price was 30 and now it's at 27. If I did not fill out that 30, then it would just show 27 and there would not be a sale button. So it's totally up to you. Shipping is calculated at checkout. We could remove that if you wanted to and do free shipping. The images that we loaded are all here so people can look, okay? If you have something where you think people may want to really zoom in on your image, you can change that so that when they hover, they go over it, and then they can really get in close and really look at your product. That's totally up to you if you want to do that. So I have that off for now, okay? You can see our description is here. I had a few spaces when I put it, so that would have been pulled up a little bit more. But here's everything that you want to have in the description. That's why it's so important. You can see by bolding it, making things bigger, it allows people to learn about the product. So here they are on your website. Yes, crazy cases. They see the image. I'm at the right spot. I'm here to purchase. or learn more, boom, they have the option right here to purchase. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. And we're going to go back here. Now, I don't have a collection, but if you had a whole bunch of products, you could have a featured collection here, all different types of things. So I don't have that, so I'm going to hide that section. You can add, obviously, more images. Oh, I hit the wrong one here. I want to, yes, so the collection. Okay, so I know there's a bunch of things that I'm hiding here, and of course you can use them, but the two most important things that I want you to have on the front page of your store is the option to buy. Yes, I want people to buy. And the other thing is reviews. We want to have reviews, testimonials for people to help them in making that emotional decision. It is an emotional decision. They haven't touched the product. Maybe they don't know you. Maybe they're in a different state. Maybe English isn't their first language. There's all kinds of barriers to making that purchase. So putting testimonials in there with someone's name is awesome. It is one of the best things you can do to help people in making that purchase, the testimonials. So because you know that, right, as the store owner, as running an e-commerce store, if you know that testimonials are important, reviews, then you should always be thinking about that. These testimonials could be from family, friends, anyone at all. You should always ask. If people don't give it to you the first time, ask again. Testimonials and reviews are very, very important. And these reviews are right on your website. We can get into Google reviews and all kinds of other reviews as well, but the testimonials and reviews are extremely helpful in helping that client or that customer who's on your website to make that decision to actually buy the product. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save everything that I've done here, and I'm going to go back into the admin screen, and let's go ahead and I'm going to click view the store, and then I'm going to finish. I'm going to open it up for questions. I hope you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Sorry. Is activating payments, right? So you want to collect your money. How do you hook up with all the credit card companies? How do you do all that? Shopify makes it incredibly easy. They have their own payment system and connection. So you would come back into the payment section, click activate Shopify payments. You would need to put in your checking account information and some tax information, and boom, that's it. And all of a sudden on your store, you would have all the credit card icons available for people. It creates trust, and it allows them to know that they can make payment with their preferred payment method. All right, so let's click view your store. So this is it. This is what someone would look or would see when they get to your store. And yeah, I know I kind of blazed through a lot. I wanted to cover a whole bunch so that I could actually go through the whole process, because this is a beginning or getting started with e-commerce. So I wanted to just kind of show you everything that's involved in putting together a simple store so you can kind of just see the process. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I think we're going to open it up for questions. All right, so give me a second here.
Thank you, Brandon. So we
All right.
have
Awesome.
we don't have a lot of questions that came in, but let me just share one with you that Vince put up through chat.
Okay.
He's asking, what is the process strategy to get my website high on Google search results?
Excellent question. Very common question. So organic results, you're talking about SEO. This is search engine optimization. Couple of things that you can do on your Shopify store or on your e-commerce store. One is the description. The description of the product does not have to be just a paragraph like I have. You can have multiple paragraphs. 500-word product description is well done for SEO. You can definitely do that. In addition to that, Shopify and most e-commerce platforms have a blogging section. blog like you've never blogged before. Write every day, write once a week, and I'm talking 500 to 2,500 word posts, talking about your product, talking about how you made it, talking about your ideas about starting the business, talking about yourself, the variations, plans you have for the product, anything at all. If you're blogging and you're putting content out there, what happens on the technical side is Google is using bots to crawl your website. And as they're crawling your website, they're looking for content and keywords. So if you have a whole bunch of content on your website with certain keywords, Google's going to see that and they're going to note it. And when people are searching for those keywords, it's going to show you in the search results. Now, where you show up in the search results depends on a lot of other things, like how much volume, how much content you have, what the competition is like. If you're getting into the insurance business, huge competition. They're paying SEO professionals. I do SEO for clients, and it can be very difficult to rank. If you have a very unique product, it can be very easy to rank, because if somebody is looking for iPhone leather cases made in Molokai, and that's all you're writing about, you're going to pull up as long as you have that content. So that's the start. It can be a lot more elaborate. SEO is tough, but that's where you would start, the content on your website.
Great, thanks, Brandon. The other question from Essel, I think hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. He's asking, what is Shopify's fee for vendors? I think they have different tiers, right?
Okay. So for vendors, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing, are you talking about Shopify fee for the users, for the person who has the Shopify store, versus vendors who are on the back end of the store providing services? Okay, I see you said yes. Okay, great. So the basic Shopify platform is, and it may have changed, I think it's $29.99 a month. If you are thinking about starting a Shopify store, do contact me as a Shopify partner. There's a bunch of freebies and templates and stuff that I can give you, and then we can set you up with what's called a development store, which allows you to work on the store for free as long as you want, until you're ready to turn it on. So if you want to, try and avoid that monthly fee. Now, that's the Shopify Basic is $29.99. There's also Shopify Plus as well. They do have additional fees. They do come with additional services. Don't worry about that, because if you're moving on to Shopify Plus, that means your business is growing and you're heading in the right direction. These are good problems to have if you're looking at the next tier up, because you're only going to encounter that if you're doing a lot of volume or extensive shipping. Otherwise, the Shopify Basic can cover you for quite a while and some significant volume for sure.
Awesome, thanks, Brandon. We have a question from Ko Kuroda. I'm not sure what your question is, but it seems like he's asking what would they have to be careful of when they're using a third-party platform. Because I think they are using this platform called, they're working on a store called Chipley, and it's, for the textile business.
Okay, I'm seeing it. So to be careful, what do we want to be careful of? I'm sorry.
What do you suggest to be careful of, I think, when you're using someone else's platform or like a third-party platform?
Okay, like Shopify and these types of things. Shopify, there's WooCommerce. These are the two biggest. I think if your product is typically mainstream, then there's really nothing to worry about too much. When you get into some of these other products, like maybe an adult product or these CBD oils or some of these types of products, you have to be careful if they're going to block you on the payment processing side on the back end. So, and they will come in and they will shut your store down if it is in violation of the terms. So if you think that you're kind of on the edge there, or the product that you're selling may or maybe not, even if you feel that there's no reason to, if you think it might come up, then I would look into that pretty closely to make sure their terms of service will allow your product to be sold. If not, then you can push out to some of the other ones that are more lenient, or you can also use a third-party payment provider that's more lenient on what you're selling.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. We have another. Well, Randy is asking if there are examples of other excellent websites to look at. So I think Randy can email you for those, or do you have some top of mind right now?
If you want to look at a variety of Shopify stores, you can go to my website, hokumarketing.com, and we have a client page there. You can look at some there as well. Also, if you go into Google, you can type in top Shopify websites, and you'll see some award-winning sites out there that are just amazing, and some really big brands. I mean, we're talking, Nike will do a spin-off on a particular product and they'll throw up a Shopify store. So yeah, Shopify is huge. They can do some amazing things. So if you just go into Google and type top Shopify stores, you'll see there's a lot of people who have those lists, and you can kind of look through it and you can see some of the amazing things that I did. What I did today is super basic. What the possibilities are out there are amazing. You can make a beautiful, highly functional, very complex stores on the Shopify platform.
Awesome. I also had a follow-up question. He's asking, does Shopify have a minimum of sales per month to stay contracted?
No. So if you're getting your store started out and you're just not selling, as long as you pay that monthly fee, your store will remain up and running. If you do it through Shopify, you can get your domain through there. That fee, I forgot to mention, includes hosting, so you don't have another bill for hosting. It's part of that. So as long as you're paying that bill, it will stay up. Shopify recently added a discounted price if you want to pause your store. And this was in response to the COVID and just a lot of people just, changing, just needing to be flexible. So that has always been an option, and it takes your price down quite a bit. I think it drops down to like $9, $10 a month. So if you're you're not going to be in your store for the next 6 months and you want to just kind of take it down, you can take it down and not completely down, not lose anything. And then when you're ready to go back, you power everything back up and your store is ready to go. So direct answer on that is no, you do not need to make a minimum number of sales per month to stay connected. Yeah.
Great. Vince is also asking, do you suggest partnering with Amazon for visibility? I think this is kind of a bigger e-commerce strategy, I guess.
Yeah. Excellent question. And there's two views with Amazon. My experience has been most of the e-commerce experts out there are saying to get started, go for it. Get with Amazon because you're trying to generate sales. You're trying to get your name out there, and you want that presence in that marketplace. Amazon is also a great place to get feedback, and to really fine tune your production, your shipping, your reviews, the whole process. So if you're just starting out, yes, go with Amazon. Now, here's the 180-degree answer to that is Amazon is terrible for building your brand because you do not own any of the customer information. When they ship it to the customer, it's in Amazon's box. You don't get their email. You don't know how many times they bought before. You don't know what other pages they look at, what other interests they have. You can't remarket to them. They own the customer. This is one of the reasons why Shopify continues to attract larger vendors is because they're trying to build their brand. So what I mean by that is when a customer buys on your website, you can see what pages they looked at. So if you're selling jeans and you're also selling mu'umu'us and this person only buys jeans all the time, you can create a marketing campaign that only suggests jeans to them. But you wouldn't know that if they were buying through Amazon. In addition, you can make your own boxes with your own brand, put your own flyer in your shipping boxes. You can really personalize that and communicate with them over time. So hopefully you can find some sort of balance in there. Maybe you're starting with Amazon, but you're aggressively pushing your brand. So hopefully you can move away from that. It just depends. Yeah. Good question.
Great. Awesome. As we wait for more questions to come in, I'll just put in one of mine. I've spoken to a couple of e-commerce companies or companies building out e-commerce business, and they are asking about subscriptions. How easy is it to get it started on Shopify?
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, so we're both working with a client who is selling a particular product that is possibly in violation of the terms of service. So we had to kind of back away from the subscriptions. But let's say you have something, box of chocolates, maybe you're doing, or coffee. Coffee is a great example, and you want to do it on subscriptions. So Shopify has another whole section to Shopify called their apps. And these are all third-party apps that will give you access to all kinds of functionality, including subscriptions. So you can set it up where people can, I want to buy the coffee and then I want to get it every month. I want to get it every quarter. And they'll have the options right there on the checkout page to decide how often they want to receive it. It'll automatically charge to their credit card and you just continue to ship it out. So that's a plugin on the back. If you're from the WordPress world, and it's like a plugin with Shopify, they call them apps. And that's, very easy to do, very easy to set up. It's once you get it set up and you have it, it'll just run automatic. There's also within subscriptions, when people are buying things, it's also a great time to upsell or cross-sell people, which is huge in e-commerce, and it can really mean the difference between profitable and not profitable. So what's the difference? An upsell would be if someone is buying a 1-pound bag of coffee, maybe at checkout, you offer them the 2-pound bag with a 10% discount. And that discount is only available when they're buying it and they're in the checkout. So that would be an upsell, okay? A cross-sell would be they're getting ready to buy the 1-pound bag of coffee, and right before they check out, you offer them the bag of coffee filters at a 10% discount, or you don't have to have a discount, but usually you do. And that would be a cross-sell. So that just things that they can add right at the last minute. If any of you have bought from Amazon, you see that they do it all the time. Customers who bought this also bought this. So they're constantly suggesting. They're not suggesting that to annoy you. They're suggesting that because the numbers show it works, and that's how they're making money. So yeah, all those types of functionality can be added on the back end of the store.
Awesome. No other questions yet, but another one from me. What's your take on multi-language support using the Shopify platform? Because a lot of our businesses are looking to like Japan, right? Korea, Taiwan.
Yeah. Okay, another excellent question. And for the gentleman who asked about SEO, the multilingual options or multi-language options for the stores are also great for SEO. A lot of times we tend to think in English only, and we forget that there are, billions of people searching in Chinese, Portuguese, Spanish. So again, you can do the store multilingual with various apps. I've worked on one customer who had a very big presence in Japan, was making custom jewelry, and we made sure that their store was also in Japanese. And you'll see it through Google Analytics. You will get the traffic from that location. People will pull through, and if they prefer to, if that's their native language, they like that, and they become even more loyal customers because they see that you, as the e-commerce site owner, took the time to put the additional language on there, and that will lock them in even more. They'll be even more loyal than someone who had to do, Google Translate or something. So I think it's a great idea to do, particularly here in Hawaii, where we have, overseas to Asia and stuff, a lot of connections there. And it can also be done with an application on the back, and the application will help you pair you with native speakers of that language who can go in and audit your content and make sure that it doesn't look like a robot wrote it. It actually looks like a native speaking person of that language wrote it, so that you really come across professional to those people who speak that language. So yeah, excellent for SEO, excellent for creating loyalty overseas. And remember, if you're e-commerce, if you have the shipping set up, you can sell to anyone in the world. Why not? You just charge the shipping.
So yeah, on that point, for Shopify, they do have native speakers that you can tap into, right? To help you with
Yes.
your, okay. How about, I think another thing a lot of businesses struggle with would be, customer support for, another language. Do you have any experience on that or any case studies that you can share with your clients?
Customer support in another language, I do not have experience with. However, I do know, yes, there are a lot of platforms out there that will offer that support. Whether it's somebody, I know of one where they will come online with you while you're chatting with the person and do the translations real time. So if you are selling into Japan and you have your website, let's say, translated into Japanese, even though you don't speak it, and someone pops up on a chat and is asking questions or needs help, yeah, there are services that will jump in with you and they will do the translation real time for you, so that you can service that person. I don't have too much experience in there, but I do know that there are options out there to make that happen.
Awesome. I think another thing that I've heard from our local businesses is having or building in the option of a pickup, right? In addition to shipping. So what's your take on that, and how easy is it to implement?
Another excellent COVID question. Pickup has become huge since the pandemic has started. So Shopify recently added the pickup option on the back. Before, that was an additional add-on, but now it's native in the Shopify platform where you can set it up for a pickup. And basically what happens is when they're in the purchase, when they're in the cart and they're making the final purchase, the customer can select, yes, I want to pick up, and instead of having it shipped to me or whatever. So, and then you can set your hours, you can set the location, and you can give them the information that they need. So Shopify pivoted on that pretty quick to allow for store pickup in that situation. And of course, you can put additional text in there saying we'll meet you at the curb or whatever you want. But yeah, you can set that up natively now without any additional cost.
Oh, and it's great. So I think that's something that, I think a lot of local businesses should look at, right? In addition to just shipping domestically, which is, which could be pretty prohibitive if people don't want to pay $15, right? Just to get it across the island.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think just before we close, maybe one last question was this whole idea of buy now, pay later. The reason why I'm asking, order now, and then get it later, because a lot of the local businesses, as they kind of transition into manufacturing or creating products at scale, they can't really estimate how much they have to create. So, in order to meet future demand, they get the orders in right now. Is there a function like that on Shopify that allows for them to, collect orders now and then fulfill them later?
Yeah, it's pretty, as long as you're communicating it to the customer, yeah, you can take payment up front and then immediately begin that process of communicating with them and staying in touch with them as the production takes place. I think if you just communicate it clearly in the product description, so earlier we did the product description, that's a great opportunity to explain that. You can say, hey, when you purchase this product, it's going to take 2 weeks. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to send you an email letting you know, I'm going to update you once a week, or I'm going to update you once a month, or whatever your process is. If you're totally transparent with them and upfront, then people know the process, then you're going to be fine. So if you're in manufacturing, do not shy away from taking the payment up front. I would just make sure that you have very clear communication with the customer so that they know the process that's going through. And I didn't show it in the demo today, but there is a section in Shopify that's called notifications. And these are all emails that go out when somebody makes a purchase, when shipping is ready, when the shipping goes out, when the product is received. So multiple ways. Email, you can do an email marketing platform that keeps in touch with them. Multiple ways to stay in touch with that customer. No reason not to do buy now and ship it later. Yeah.
And that's an app, right? Do you have to actually pay for that to incorporate it into your website?
If you're collecting the payment up front, you don't need that app. You could communicate on your own. I don't see why you would need that. You could do that through email or through the notifications. There may be an app that maybe gets into some more details about something that's particular on that. I'm not familiar with it, but I do have customers who there is a delay, and we just set it up so that they're clearly convey to the customer what's taking place. Yep.
Okay, awesome. So thank you so much, Brendan, for your time today.
You're
We've come
welcome.
to the end of the session. Again, I just want to remind everybody that we have a lot of really great, e-commerce and digital marketing webinars coming up. So, definitely check out our website. We will just reshare the link again in chat. And if you need assistance in e-commerce or digital marketing, that same link you will find the link to our application form where you can submit to request for that assistance, and it's 3 hours of free consulting time with one of the vendors that we will pair you with. So again, thank you, Brendan, for your time today, and we will see you in the next webinar session in a couple of days.
Okay.
On email marketing. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.